What's up everyone, and welcome to my unboxing of Mythic Battles Pantheon. I got a great reception for my unboxing of Zombicide Invader, in which I did the 2-camera setup, of which I'm doing this time. I've got the camera over here, and obviously the camera that's watching me right now. And I'm going to do my unboxing the same way that I did that one, so if you haven't seen that one, go ahead and click up in the corner, and you can check that one out up there. It's an unboxing in which I just kind of talk about my first impressions because, as you know, this game has been out for a while already. This is the 1.5 edition. I just got it in the mail today, so let's get into it. Alright, so as you can see right from the beginning, the presentation of this game is incredible. We have the gloss coating that you can see from the matte picture, the gloss coating of the logo and the edges here. It's also on the sides. There's the matte picture versus the gloss logo. Looks absolutely fantastic, and that is repeated through all of the boxes here that I have. I did not go all in on the pledge, so this is just the basic pledge with 2 expansions that I was very interested in that I added on, plus 1 small add-on, which I will show you, but I just want you to know this will not be an unboxing of the all-in pledge. It was a lot of stuff and a lot of money, so I decided to kind of cool it with that. So let's get started right away with opening this up. And yeah, the packaging looks excellent. It doesn't look like there's, oh, actually, never mind. Hold on, let me show you here. There is some damage on the corner here. Now this game was originally, I believe, made in partnership with Monolith and Mythic Games. It just says Monolith on here. I know that they went their separate ways. I'm not 100% sure if that was before or after Conan or after this game, so I might be wrong on that. I'll double check. Let's see. All right, and right from the beginning, we are greeted with a ton of cool stuff. So we can see there's a big plastic holder here, and in that we have 2 big old stacks of cards. And I know that this game does both the French version of everything and the English version of everything. That is very common in all of Monolith's games. It seems to also be happening in all of Mythic's games. I know both are French companies, so we'll see if they continue to do that through all of their games or if they start doing language-dependent versions. Let's look at some of the cards here. So the artwork on these is absolutely gorgeous. I love them. They're very easy to read. 2402, you can see that. We have symbology down here in the bottom. But very little symbology overall. It looks like the symbols at the top are repeated. They probably mean attack, defense, range, and movement, I'm guessing. I kind of know how to play the game, but not very, very well. The Hoplites, the Spartans, and then we get into the Umphalos cards. And then a bunch of these cards that I don't actually know what they do yet, but the artwork is absolutely gorgeous. Very, very pretty. We have another deck here. Why go to the gym if you can't rip open plastic, right? Here we go. We got Zeus, and I know that down here it shows 4 stars, and that 4 stars means 4 cards. So Athena has 4 as well. Ares has 5. And Hades has 4. And go through all of the characters that come in the game. Just absolutely beautiful artwork. Look at those Spartans. Very much out of 300. We got dice. Dice feel definitely have a good weight, rounded corners. Nice sound when they roll. I like good quality dice. So far in Monolith's games, I believe that all of their dice have been great. In Batman, so far in this game, and also in Claustrophobia 1643. That game also has great dice. Components are probably not going to be a problem in this, and so far so good. Here's our first model. We'll look at our very first model here. And again, I'm not going to go through all of the models, but I will see if I notice anything very glaring about them. I mean, right off the bat, this guy looks amazing. Such great detail. But we've got a heavy mold line right across the face, and then there's a gap right below the neck there. Looks like another gap right here. And that's just from the process of putting him together. And this big giant behemoth, the Hydra, just looks absolutely fantastic. I love it. And here we have the Umphalos, which look like little raspberries. Look like little raspberries or something like that. Little plastic raspberries. Alright, we'll save the minis for just a second. Let's get into what the box liner actually looks like. So inside the box we have some player aids, both French and English, and really well laid out. I love player aids. This is a huge plus. If we were like counting, if we started at 50 and said every game starts at 50, doesn't make it to 100 and it's a perfect game, or make it to 0 and it's garbage, what could make it go up, including player aids, is probably a plus 10. There's an excellent thing that I really, really love. Then we get into what looks to be the board. Multiple boards. So I'll hold the boards up for you over here and get a nice look at them. They're big boards, tons of detail on them. Excellent. And up close, you can see the numbers are very easy to read. Very easy to read, very clear lines. Much clearer than Batman. I felt Batman was really hard to read, especially if you're not someone who's accustomed to board gaming in that way. It's probably a very difficult thing to get used to look at a board that way. It's almost like learning a new language. When you start seeing these patterns of how boards look, you get used to them. But if you haven't, there could be some pretty big differences between what your mind tells you it should be and what it actually looks like. So never take for granted the idea that you've played tons of board games before when you're trying to teach a game to somebody else. We now have the scenario book, and we have the scenario book in both French and the scenario book in English, and we have the rule book in French and English. So they're here. They have the same cover on both. Let's look through them real quick and just see if there's anything that we notice right off the bat. We have an index, which is always welcome. Tells you the different places that they have it. We have a painting guide. Not really a painting guide, but some pictures of painted miniatures. And it tells you about them and also like kind of how to play them, which is really cool. And we have all the gods at the top here. Let me grab the camera and actually show you that a little bit better. So here is, so there's Ares and Hades, Athena and Zeus. And then, so it tells you about them there, and then at the bottom, kind of how to play them, or like what you should be doing or how you should be building your team if you want to win with that character. Alright, the final thing in this box is we have this big batch of our tokens. So on the top we have our cards. Well, they fall out very easily, so let's take a look at one here. We punch this out like this, and we have the Minotaur. So the Minotaur has his charge ability and a bloodthirst ability. Then this is where it slides as you take damage. It slowly moves down this track. And so he starts with 7 attack, 7 defense, 0 range, and 1 movement. And then down at the end, he's still a big powerhouse, but he's not able to move for free anymore. He now has to move with either someone else's ability, or he has to pay to move and stuff like that. So Medusa, same sort of idea. She starts as much more agile and able to move, and then slowly becomes worse and worse. And on one side it's French, and one side it's English. After all the cards, we get into tokens, and we have a whole batch of trees, which is really great if you're into tabletop wargaming, or if you want to play D&D and you need some trees or something like that. Really awesome thing that you can do is, with this game, you've got some trees there. So here we have all the minis from the core game, and we have some big giant beasts that of course start with our gods, like Ares here and Hades. And they look absolutely perfect. Look at how straight this is. Now it has a bit of a bend to it, little bit of a bend. But I mean, if this was Cool Mini or not, this would be bent around like this. Anyone that has Zombicide Green Horde knows this from the axe that the giant carries is one big old bent piece. And then in comparison to that, we have normal sized models. And these are the same size as all other, 35 mil hero models. And then we have kind of the smallest ones. You can see that they're not really small in height, but they are in like their total taking up space for the lowest sort of minions. All right, let's dive into the expansion box. So next up we have Pandoras Box, which is the box of stretch goals from the first campaign that is included as part of the second campaign's base pledge. It is set up as if it was a full retail box. It's got that same laser, I forget what it's called, but yeah, the glossy finish for the logo and for the edges, while it has a matte version of the picture, a different picture than the core box, but reminiscent of the core box, very similar, but has the models from this one. And now this one is very model heavy. That's mostly what got unlocked. So let's take a look when we first get into it. Right on the top we have this really cool Mythic Battles Pantheon bag. I don't really know what you use this for. This isn't really like a drawing dice game, but you know what? Cool. You can use it for other stuff. We have more cards that I doubt have any difference in their usage or their quality, so I'm not going to spend time opening them. And I guess I can just stop right here and say, if you were to ask me what is my first impression so far, if I were to get just that core box, and that was the thing that I bought for $100, I think that this game is fabulous. I think that this game has so much to offer in just that core box. The fact that if you got this on Kickstarter, you paid $100, give or take, right? And then plus shipping, and you got that giant box and this box, and then you could add on other stuff like I did, but you would get those two things. That's mind-blowing that they're able to offer that at that price. So let's see, starting off right away, we have this big plastic tub here with tons of miniatures in it. So here we have the Griffin, which is giant and beautiful and so freaking cool. This one has very, very few visible mold lines. There's one that runs right down the back and down his tail, which would be really easy to clean up. Oh, I'm very excited to paint this guy up. That's very cool. That might be one of the first ones that I do just because of how freaking cool he is. You just look at all of them. They just look so nice. So yeah, these miniatures are definitely on point. They are doing everything they are supposed to do. I love the plastic holder. Keep them all nice once they're all painted, unlike the Black Rose Wars one, which was impossible to take the minis out after you put them in there. We then have this giant box of miniatures. And again, we won't go through them all, but I will show you some stuff from them. So it looks like we have 2 layers, each with a lid. We have this one that has on it all of your small troops all the way across, and then your gods as you go through this way. Wow, Pan looks great. Look at that. Look at the detail on his face. This is excellent. Big snake. Her face looks a little less detailed. I'm sure you can paint it up. Wow. I'm very impressed. If you can't tell, I'm very, very impressed. And then here we have some of our columns, full columns and broken columns. And then some of the other troops and heroes that are a little bit more nebulous, or there's less of them, or only one-offs. And me and Lion there. So very cool. Very, very impressed. And then, of course, we have all of our tokens. Hey, there's a little box. Nope, nothing hidden in the box. Thought there might be a good surprise, but no. So let's see. If I try to pull out one of these, they remove very clean. Everything punches out great. Same thing with French on one side, English on the other. And you can see the artwork is fantastic. The thickness of these boards is nice and heavy. They're not going to bend easily. I'm really into it. Very, very, very into it. Well, let's crack open the expansions and see what we get in there. All right, next up we have Atlas, who is also part of the core pledge. He is a Titan. So if you got the Titan expansion, that gives you 4 other Titans. But this is the Titan that actually comes with the game. We have a box, and that's about it. The box is really nice. It has some really cool artwork on it. The Raging Titan Atlas. And all that's in here is the mini. If we can call him that. He's about as big as half my head. Let's check him out. I must say I'm a little disappointed that he can't be fit in the core box. It's always annoying to have one extra box. But I'm probably going to treat him just like I did the Batmobile and throw away the box instantly. And then just keep the Batmobile out on display. I will paint him up early and put him on display somewhere in my apartment and throw the box away. He looks just absolutely amazing. He looks like an action figure. He's not a mini. He's gonna hang out. Well, you can't see him on the camera, but you know what? He's here. You see him there? There. He's gonna look over everything for us. Which brings me to my 2 add-ons that I got. The first one is a big box expansion. The only big box expansion that I got, which was the Hephaestus expansion. The Hephaestus. I think it's Hephaestus. Doesn't matter. He's long dead. But Hephaestus expansion. We have, again, just absolutely incredible artwork. Everything about this is gorgeous. I know I sound like a broken record, but I am very, very impressed with the art style. And again, the really nicely done logo. So as we open this up, we're greeted with the Hephaestus rulebook, both in English and French. And it is the 1.5 rulebook because they did update some of the rules. Let's go ahead and take a look at, wow. God, the art is just gorgeous. Just love everything about this. This just makes me want to play the game because it just looks incredible. And very clear maps of how to set everything up to play, how to use these. There we are. So we have a big box of minis. And what I wanted more than anything, which is the new boards. I thought it'd be really cool to have some extra boards to be able to play on. We have our cards. They are the, not cards, we have our player sheets, and they are the same excellent quality, same thickness. They didn't skimp on anything for the game. Everything looks great. And then we have our board. We have two double-sided, so we get two new boards to play on. We have this giant, amazing one here. Hold it up for you here. That is all fire and brimstone here. And then on this side, we have half water, half fire. Also very, very cool. You can see again that detail is just excellent, and it's so clear and easy to see what the marked sections are and the numbers on them. I'm just absolutely in love with that design. It is something that if somebody doesn't love war games, or they don't like the idea of one-on-one skirmish, or they don't like the idea of always fighting you, this game is so much easier and simpler than many of those games. And just showing them this board and saying like, oh, you know, this means that only a size 2 of people, so depending on their size, you can only have 2 groups of models in here. And that's the only terminology on this board. They can see the lines. They can see that this is a thick red line. These are all white lines. And they'll know what that means, because you only have to teach a couple of things. That is excellent. I love when they do that. Elegance goes a long way in getting non-gamers to play a game with you. Oh, we lost Atlas. And then here are the miniatures from this game. We have a really freaking wild bull that's just ready to gore some people and tear them up. Look at that. Oh, he looks fantastic. And the Caucasian eagle from the Caucasus Mountains. And this man, who should have been a Titan, Prometheus. I think he's just a god in this, but he should have been a Titan. He is giant and angry and awesome. And we have Hephaestus, who this is named after, so here's your god. And we have his cards here, and I don't know what that's for right here. I don't know why this is dug out, but who cares? I'll pop these open just so we can take a look at them and make sure that there wasn't any kind of... We didn't see any in the last one, but we want to make sure that there isn't any like bleed or weird colors that are used. If you saw my unboxing of the Harry Potter miniatures game and my review, you'll know that some games come with weird colors. This one is not one of them. It just looks absolutely incredible. So they're French and English are just mixed together. Well, not mixed together, but it's... well, for some, I guess. It's a little weird. So, like, Talos... Maybe if there isn't a French name, they didn't do it. But Prometheus and then Promethei. I don't know how to speak French. I'm sorry. I'm probably butchering it. But Promethei. So, there you go. But maybe Hephaestus does not have a French translation, so there's no reason to print the same language again. Well, that leaves us with one more box to unbox, and that is Heroes of the Trojan War. If you watched my explanation of the Kickstarters I backed last year, then you saw that I picked this expansion. So we have 5 models in this one. This is one of the small box expansions, and with this we've got... Let me get this out of the way. We've got 5 models, and that same quality that we were expecting. Agamemnon just looks fantastic. Look at that. Commanding the units. And there's his picture right there. Just looks absolutely fantastic. We have our cards. They come in this little plastic wrap. Let's pop them out of here. So, here they are. They look absolutely amazing. And the final thing that I got... I'm going to put this back in there. Final thing that I got was the frost dice. Now, these frost dice are tied into the new game that's coming out sometime in later this year. I mean, we only got a couple months left. Maybe it's later this year, maybe it's early next year. But they're doing Mythic Battles Ragnarok. And then after that, there's also references in the rule book to Mythic Battles Egypt. So we should see the pantheon of the Nordic religions, Thor and Loki and all them. And we should also see the pantheon of the Egyptians, like Ra and... oh god, I'm embarrassing myself. I can't remember all the rest of the Jackal. Can't remember the rest of them. That's all right. I'll learn them by playing the game, because no matter what, I'll get at least the base game. Maybe I won't go all in on all of them, but I'm so in love with this package. Here, let me show you these dice. Look at that. These are the Frost dice. They are really cool. They are well done. Now you saw that I got the blue dice in the Zombicide Invader pledge, and I didn't absolutely love those, but these are amazing. They're so easy to read, so good looking. I just really hope that they don't get dirty with like fingerprints and stuff, and then like you're not able to use them, but they're excellent. Well, thank you all so much. If you made it through with me this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Definitely comment down below what models you would like to see painted first from this group, and also let me know what you think about the game. If you've had it already, did you back it? Were you hesitant to back it? With what I think about it, are you going to go and check it out on the secondhand market, or just wait for Mythic Battles Ragnarok to jump in, because you're going to get probably the same style of game, just with different models and a different legend that we're talking about. But I am so pleased with the look of this game. I really hope that I love playing it as much as I love looking at it, but I can tell you this, I'm going to get my money's worth out of painting these guys, because they are absolutely incredible, and I'm going to try to work them into every tabletop RPG I can, just so that I can say, and then a giant lava bull comes bulldozing through the front door. How do you react, right? How do you react? Thank you all so much, and I'll see you next time. Hey, thanks for watching my videos. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to see more, make sure you subscribe so that you'll be alerted every time I release a new one. If you want to see two that have already been produced and were hand-picked by these two crazy kids, then you can click on the links here on the screen now. Otherwise, thank you so much for sticking around, and I'll see you all next time.